and state capture in all its forms. For this evil are taking deep roots in our country. We are looking for people who are committed to building an economy in which all Kenyans can flourish, an economy which benefits as a whole rather than a few individuals. In this exercise, we must confront a few realities, including the fact that some of our members and leaders are not as active in their communities and branches as they should be. We must do away with an unreliable and slow system of issuing membership cards, and also do away with undemocratic tendencies that keep would-be members away. We must address the issue of and its impact on operations and performance of the party, that is, discipline and camaraderie. Without discipline, we can't achieve much. We must also do away with the problems of gatekeeping, keeping people from joining and renewing and therefore participating in the life of ODM. At the end of the exercise, we must have millions of new members. It must be clear to all that the organization is growing. I want to conclude by saying that from the experience I've seen a lot of interest in the party, but a new development which is actually retrogressive that we see in some parts of our country. And I've seen it in the coast, I've seen it in Upper Eastern, I've seen it in Northeastern, I've seen it here in Nairobi, I've seen it in Western, I've seen it in Nyanza. The issue of early campaigns. People are in campaigns, and we hardly 1 year from the last elections. We still have got 4 more years to go. But this is bringing a lot of tension among our members. And people campaigning, they want to be MCAs. Those who are elected as MCAs campaigning, they want to be MPs. They have hardly served the people to qualify. It is what you're doing to the people as an MCA which will endear you to the larger constituency. Then you've got people elected as members of parliament who are campaigning to be governors. You've hardly served the people as a member of parliament. You already are declaring and you have in a committee campaigning to be a governor. Some people elected as senators campaigning to be governors, or women reps campaigning to be governors, or members of parliament. I want to say that time is going to come. Time will come. But allow those who have been elected in those respective positions to serve now, giving them the support that they need, so that they either succeed or they fail. In a normal democracy, campaigning starts 1 year before the elections. You can see now in the US, people are declaring candidatures for senators, for governorships, and for the presidency. Because the election is next year. Then you have 1 year to do the campaign. So what I want to say is that it is not right for us. We see a lot of enmity being generated among our members, because everybody is now already in a full swing campaign 4 years later. And you find some people have hired our youth. The youth are running around this time, fighting, put a lot of tension. This should end. So I think basically that's what I wanted to say here. I want to listen to those paparazzi. Kuna swali?
Do you have any questions here? Okay.
Your Excellency, Apollo TV 47. There's the issue of other leaders, leaders from other political parties who are campaigning in ODM areas. What's your take on that? Number two, there is the issue of discipline in the party, and especially the rebels. Some of them have been appealing to you to reconsider the decision to do with expulsion. What's your take? Thank you.
Well, we cannot really control members of other political parties campaigning in our regions, because we live in a democracy. They are very much welcome, except what I've just said now, that it is too premature for people to begin campaigning across board. This applies across board because it generates a lot of tension. It diverts people's attentions and energy from productive work. So my advice to them would be also bid your time. Time for campaigning is going to come. With regard to discipline in the party, there are of course clear rules and guidelines how discipline are handled. And as you know, we have a committee that deals with matters of discipline. Then we have got respective party organs that handle those. So if somebody is unhappy the manner in which his case has been handled, he has the right to appeal through the normal channels. This appeal should be handled. You see, there are rules that must be observed. We must strengthen multi-party in our country. If you are elected on a particular party's ticket or a coalition, you actually are basically confined to serve that party for that 5 years mandate. If in the middle of that period you feel dissatisfied with that party, they want to cross the floor, then of course it is your democratic right. But the rules have been that you resign, you go back to the electorate and seek a fresh mandate from the electorate. This is what we are saying. So we are saying those members who don't want to be in ODM are free. They have their democratic right to move to wherever they want to move. But allow us and our supporters an opportunity to test your popularity. Let us then also have another candidate to replace you.
Next.
My name is David Muthoka from KTN. And yesterday you released a dossier on the G2G deal, oil deal that the government is in, and you termed it as a grand scam. Hours later, the government, through the energy minister and the majority leader, came out to say that the deal is above board, and even saying that what you presented to Kenyans was hot air and nothing but cheap propaganda. Do you still believe that the government and that G2G deal is a grand scam? Elaborate and maybe offer a response to what the leaders had to say over your dossier.
Well, I don't know whether those people who responded had an opportunity to read what I had said, because it was a very comprehensive statement which gave clear facts, and I challenged the government to contradict what I had said. These other ones basically just talk and say hot air. I don't know which hot air, where that guy is coming from. And this is supposed to be majority leader of government. I think, the matter was directed at the executive, not at the legislature. So it is not work of Mr. Chungwa to respond. I directed it to specific people. But be that as it may, we'll show him some political etiquette. The issues are raised, and they're still valid. I want the government to show the memorandum of understanding that they've signed between the government of the Republic of Kenya and the government of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and the government of the United Arab Emirates. Not signed between the Minister for Energy and the CEO of Aramco, just a company. That G2G, because they call this G2G. G2G means that there's an agreement between those governments and Kenya government. Let us see that MOU. 2, let them also show us tax returns, which as a result of this importation of this oil, how much tax has been paid by these companies, these shadowy companies that have been appointed to handle this cargo, this deal. Okay? And then show us also supplier purchase agreement. Let us see that. Then tell us why EPRA boss, Mr. Kipto, was involved in the negotiations of these contracts, yet he's the one also who is here fixing prices. If that is not corruption, I don't know what corruption is. Those are very valid questions that I want this government to answer. Thank you.
Your Excellency, with your indulgence, we have 2 questions, then we wind up the session.
I'm Chris Owino from Ramogi TV. I've got 2 questions. The first question, are you considering taking any action against the governor of Turkana who has outrightly rebelled against the party in line with the enhancing discipline in ODM? And secondly, there have been reports that ODM has lost its grips in Western Kenya and the coast. Do you have formidable plans to revamp the party? That's all.
I don't answer to propaganda. That's basically propaganda. Nobody has measured the popularity of ODM. You've seen that. You have heard it here.
Order, members.
Mama Zara here is from Lamu. She's actually told me that our competitor has been to Lamu 5 times since elections, but the ground has not changed. But we will go back to Lamu. We are going to go back, and I will invite you to accompany me when I go to Lamu and see how I'm going to be received in Lamu. Secondly, I mean, it will be very unfair of me to begin to discuss a governor here when he's not present. That is not right at all. Those are internal issues that are dealt with. There are organs within the party to deal with those issues. So if Mr. Jeremiah has issues, he will deal with the party organs, not me. I have nothing against Mr. Lemurkel, but of course he misbehaved, and there are proper organs that will deal with those issues, not here. Okay.
Thank you very much. I think members of the media, you can leave. We'll call you back again for resolutions after the session. Thank you very much. Back to Chairman.
Wacha media sasa watoke kidogo. Wacha tupige